And when I was putting the pictures together last night, I've been working with a girl in the project I run who does have Angelman syndrome. So in the pictures, I'll point out there's a little storyline when we get to her pictures. And we're going to finish up with pictures of Siodhna working in her job in Kilcullen. So we'll just go quickly through them, and if we want to finish it at 1:45, we probably won't have time to show you a small a promotional video that was made about Campbell with music by Van Morrison, no less. Yeah, we'll put it on, but I'll leave some copies of it that you're very welcome to take home with you. We'd be delighted you could take them home with you.
And of course, like the other speakers, we will answer questions after.
Yeah. So we'll just quickly go through the images. Campbell is international. This picture was taken in a place up in Scotland called, the name's just gone out, Loch Arthur. And it's based on the old type of Campbell situation in the countryside. It has an organic farm and has won the BBC Food Award for the cheese it makes on site. This is a map to show you where the different Campbells in Ireland are located. And actually Heather was telling me earlier that she works and has clients in the Campbell up in just outside Belfast. And so there's a small Campbell in on the outskirts of South Dublin. There's a cluster where Siodhna lives in Kildare, and then there's a group down in South Kilkenny and Tipperary.
But can I say, even though there's a cluster, like we say, no Campbell does one thing similar. We all have different structural groups and
Yeah.
different way of running.
Yes, every place is a little bit different.
I wouldn't just say a little bit, a lot different.
Yeah, we'll go. Now this is a place. This is the place where Siodhna and I first met, and it's a picture of summertime, and all the Campbells have got young volunteers who come and work for a year and give their services and get trained up to be able to be assistants. And like Corina. As I was saying, Campbell's about 60 years old, and it was started by a doctor. His name was Karl Koenig, and he lived in the Jewish quarter in Vienna. And in 1939 had to leave with some colleagues because of persecution at the beginning of the Second World War. He thought he would start somewhere in Europe, but as he moved through different countries, they became invaded, and he ended up in a remote, far distant corner in North Scotland. And the first Campbell was started in Aberdeen, and actually Heather and I were talking earlier, and we both worked there as very young people in our teenage years, early 20s. And Campbell has been influenced, and Karl Koenig was influenced by Rudolf Steiner, who started the Waldorf School movement. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. He also started a form of organic farming called biodynamics, and that's why so many Campbells are based on farms. He also started a form of alternative medicine. So this is a far cry from the compounds we've just been talking about, but it is based on a physical aspect, and it's called anthroposophical medicines. And Weleda, that you can buy in health food stores, was a brand of products started from Rudolf Steiner's ideas. And alongside Steiner's ideas, where he gave this picture of how the human being is always whole and intact, regardless of what physically might be going on with them. Campbell also embraces, as does all the other disabilities services in Ireland, the rights, the human rights of a person should be allowed to have advocacy, choice, empowerment, and that the Campbell has a philosophy that, as well as caring for ourselves, we also help care for the well-being and health of the earth. And again, it ties up with the whole idea of the farming and gardening in the Campbell environments. But this is the project I run, or the group of people who are connected to the project I run down in Tipperary. And it was started for young people who've just left school, and that would be one of my big passions, to accompany families in that transition from school to life beyond. And it's a huge, big area, and I'm sure in later years, Sarah, you might address in more detail how you prepare for that transition from school. And some of you here might have already made it with your family members, and others of you, it may seem very far away, a distant goal that you eventually will reach. But it does need a tremendous amount of support for every family to be able to negotiate that time between leaving school and joining the world outside of school. But today we'll really look at the Campbell places that have been started for young people over the age of 18. This is a group of young people from the project I run. All of the Campbell places also work with the idea that, as well as caring for the earth, there are other natural things around us that are ideal to manipulate and create. So there's art and craft and music and dance are all very strong therapeutic areas that we work with. And as well as that, there, as Sheena was saying, a lot of people living in Camphill now want to live out in the world and get jobs and live in their local communities. So we would counsel people in the communities to help them find other ways of living, maybe have their living accommodation in a Camphill place and go out to work, or vice versa. Now, as I was saying, I had a career break when I started this project, and 10 years ago I started working with a young woman who was 18, and she's still on the project, and she has Angelman syndrome. And her mother is part of your group, and she sends her best wishes to everybody, but at the moment they're on vacation and we're not able to attend today. Okay. No. Yes. Yes. So this young lady now is 26 years old, and she came to the project I run when she was 18, just after leaving school. And so we're going to just see a few of her activities. so we designed a lot of projects around her that she could actually partake alongside other people who might be supporting her. And so this is her graduation from completing part of the program. And sorry, if we could just go back. And she's there with family members. It's quite interesting from what Heather was saying earlier about the prompts, the physical prompts. So in this case, there's the physical prompt of receiving the flower, and also the physical prompt of having a graduation cake, and of course all the physical prompts of having the people who are most important very close by. And I think that's what I have observed with her over the years, that her greatest interest in life are the people she knows. And it was great to hear Heather talk about the young man up in the north whom she had done therapy with in her designated speech and language room. That was the old model. And when he left, he would rush off to the playground and look round with a glint in his eye as he headed off to get the thing that really interested him. And I think that is really something to carry as a kind of a guiding motive for everybody. Even though we might come up with huge challenges in our life, we can still break through and express really what our interest is. And that is, for me, a defining example of how strong the human spirit is. You will break through, you will let everybody know what really your big interest in life is. With this young lady, it's people, observing people.
Is she still on the project, Heather?
She's actually, although she graduated, she graduated, but she stayed with us whilst she's still looking for her next step. So it's in a way, there isn't any great big answer to finding what's going to be ideal, and there's a lot of re-educating the whole world around. So it's an ongoing story. Now, Campbell also excels in being spontaneous, having birthday parties, going out and enjoying yourself, and doing a lot of art and theatre. And this is a picture of two young men who are living in a Campbell situation. One enjoying a day out at a street carnival in Callan in County Kilkenny. Campbell invites, as I was saying, all types of people with different disabilities. And these three guys have palled up together.
But
now, Sheena, I'll hand over to you now.
here we go. I'm going to say that we have some nature trail in our place, and you. Can anybody recognize me or not?
So, Sheena, I'm just going to pass over the...
No, that's fine, that's fine.
All right.
Just it was in against.
Okay. Sorry. Sorry, Sheena.
It's because one of the things that we've always tried to do in our community, and everything is different anyway for every community. It's different water. Our motives are, so we're going to walk, and we are officially launching it now.
Yes.
Now we hold what happens in the morning of the launch. We have nobody to talk we were thinking of asking Derek Mooney, but he wanted too much money for it.
Derek.
Yeah, I know, but he wanted too much money and he wouldn't. So we ended up opening it, me and another person, and I think there should be a picture of somebody cutting the ribbon in a minute.
Yeah, I didn't manage to put all these pictures up, but if you're travelling through Kilcullen, you are welcome any time to drop into the community that Siodhna lives in. It has a beautiful river walk.
Accessible for wheelchairs. Just be careful. And here am I with Pauline. Supposedly and I should say that people with our community we have quite a lot of people that come in by day.
Yeah.
I think this is our garden.
Yeah.
Really, Siodhna? Are you 100% sure?
No, but that was before the nature.
No, the nature trail is already on the right hand side. You can see it a bit.
So, anybody would like to ask any of us any questions? Please feel free.
So this is the garden just outside the room Siodhna and Karina's house.
Yeah, we also have a really nice coffee shop where I am working most of the time. But where also villagers are working, so residents, so people with special needs. And it's a lot of fun to work there with them. It's not every day the same, you never know what's going on. Then we also have different workshops, like the farm, and we have a weavery. What else do we have? We have the cooking workshops in the morning.
In every house, there's a cooking workshop. So, one person will go to the shop, get the things that they want to cook, or we in our case, quite a lot of the time, the cook will come to us, oh, what should I make today? I don't know. Then we say something, and then we need to see what is available.
So that's our little presentation, and I hope it's given you a bit of an idea what Camp Hill's like. But we're going to stay and have something to eat with you. So if you'd like to chat, we're very, very happy to talk to you. And we'll leave the DVDs up on the desk here.
Okay. Well,